Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going in Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going in Raw. We also offer the Steven Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steven Larson or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson to sign up. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
Welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. It's another European Raw, which means we're here nice and early at 3:45 Pacific. They're from Glasgow.
It's almost like we have, gosh, I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase it, like pro wrestling jet lag. And that this disruption in our usual schedule, because we like our routine.
Yeah.
By the time you get used to it, guess what?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to go back to the old schedule. We'll get used to that. It's like you travel somewhere, and by the time you're used to, the new time zone, guess what? Time to go.
We get two more of these bad boys. We got Friday
next
where
Monday.
They're in London at the O2.
No, actually, it's unless they're doing SmackDown and Raw from London, because Raw next week's in London.
Oh, is it? Because remember, Pretty Deadly, they said they got theirs in London as well. So I think
Maybe
they're probably
both
both at the O2. Are they taping Raw on SmackDown Day or something like that? I don't know. Anyways, people are saying both. That kind of makes sense. London's a big deal. They love the WWE there. They go there.
I mean, it's such a large city. You can have one show on one side of town and have the other show on the other side of town, and
And it'd take forever to get to either one. It's like being in two different locations. Kind of no different than, to a degree, like
Los Angeles. You can have a show in like Ontario, and have one at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, and really that's like an hour and a half drive.
Right, exactly.
To go from one venue to the other.
Yeah, in any event, we are on the road to WrestleMania, and so more things happening. Another face-to-face with John Cena and Cody Rhodes.
Last week we were wondering in Cena's promo, did Cena give us that one line that's really going to kind of encapsulate what he's about now? He didn't last week. He did today, though.
Which one was that? Which line?
I will ruin wrestling.
Oh, yeah, that's a good... You're right. Yeah.
Which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
We finally got his thesis, and the idea is he's going to win the title at Mania for number 17, get Ric Flair out of the record books, John Cena atop for most world title wins, and he's going to hold the title until he retires, and then he's going to walk away from the world of pro wrestling with the WWE Championship. And he preceded all this with a hearty defense of the spinner title. And now, once he leaves with the title, WWE is going to have to create a new toy, what people said the spinner title was, to be the championship. He will leave the last real world champion.
I love that. I thought bringing the spinner into it, especially me, a big belt nerd. I love the idea. Oh, when he wins at WrestleMania, is he going to? He's considering the one that Cody holds, the real one, or is he going to go back to the spinner one? Consider that real? Are they going to come up with a new title when Cody beats him for it again? If that actually happens, it does feel the way that he talks. There are so many more possibilities, given that he still has the remainder of the year. By the time WrestleMania comes around, he's going to have 7.5 months left on his retirement tour. Yep. He had 36 dates coming into the year, and he's got, enough dates left on that contract to basically see through every pay-per-view after WrestleMania and a bunch of Raws and SmackDowns. They got to do something with him. I don't believe, Larson, that they are going to deny him this title at WrestleMania. It seems more like it makes more sense for him to win at WrestleMania. Did anything in his promo tonight sway you one way or the other in terms of his prospects at WrestleMania winning that title?
Oh, yeah, I think it more or less seals his prospects of being successful and getting that belt off Cody, probably with the help of Dwayne. Because then it gives him his story as champion. Who's going to be the hero to reclaim this title for WWE and keep me from walking away from pro wrestling as the last real champion, and so on and so forth. That's the story arc. And challengers will come throughout the year, and challengers will fall only for, I'm assuming, Cody at the end of the year or towards the end of the year to be the one that steps up to Cena again, this time gets the win.
I wonder how they're going to do that, because I agree with you, and I wonder if they're going to do, if the Cena, return to face situation is going to be included in all that, or is that simply going to be like the last act is him raising Cody's hand and, and being like, "Hey, I'm good now." So I don't know how that's all going to play out, but the one thing that I really liked about this promo and what he's talking about, I'm going to ruin wrestling. I'm going to be the guy that retires with this. And he's finally addressed hey, this is what 17 means, is that it really amps up the prestige of that Cody title. Meanwhile, the actual world title on Raw sinks further and further into mid-card oblivion, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But it really makes that title, I mean, in this build to WrestleMania, yes, it's been a lot of talking. I don't know if we're going to get the moment where Cena gives his all on the mic to Cody. Right now, he's just giving it to us, the fans, and we're like, yeah, cool. But do you see a situation? Because next week, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to get Cody and Cena in the ring together. Are we going to get John Cena doing what we know he can do on the mic to Cody? Or is it a different situation, given that Cody's a wildly successful babyface? Is Cena going to be able to find any ammunition for him? Are they going to take any sort of approach where he tries to get Cody on the mic?
I'm going to put this out here. Regardless if they do that or not, this might be the rationale why they won't, because we expect it. And so much of what Cena is saying is about subverting our expectations of what to expect from heel John Cena, or from John Cena, period. Part of John Cena being in a feud is he gives his opponent in the weeks before cryface. That's expected. And I think a lot of people would be potentially excited about the prospect of him and Cody going back and forth in a promo battle. But if the situation is he doesn't want to give us, the fans, the satisfaction of witnessing that, maybe he won't do it.
I mean, he has no problem doing it with the fans.
But that's different, because that's something he's never done before.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting to see what he would bring to Cody, because the guy in every metric that really matters has been outstanding for business. He's a very capable, Cody is a very capable promo. And I don't know. It's something that I understand it's because you wish it, but I would wish to see that, because it's such a staple of John Cena.
Sorry, Steve, you're not going to get it then.
Well, here's the thing, though. Okay, but here's the thing. To counter that, he hasn't debuted a new theme. He keeps on selling merch. He hasn't actually done the things. Oh, we want to see this out of John Cena. But he's kept everything the same. Why wouldn't he keep that if that's the philosophy? Why didn't he keep that the same?
Because he's kept everything the same, because we as fans, this is what he says, want to see the full repackage of heel John Cena, and he says, I'm not going to give it to you.
But this wouldn't be a repackage. It'd be on brand.
It would be on brand, but it's still something we want. Not going to give it to you.
Gotcha. Hopefully we do get it, because it's something that I'd really like to see. As I mentioned last week, revisiting a lot of his promo moments. God damn, that guy could be vicious. And I'd be really interested to see what sort of tact he would take against an opponent that actually is really popular. Because it's not like Roman was popular when he killed him on the mic. It's not like The Miz was all that popular when he killed him on the mic. He tried against CM Punk. Didn't have a lot of success there. So it might go closer to that. Speaking of CM Punk, prior to the main event tonight, he came out and admitted, I'm a bit jet lagged. So I think some of the writing for this is a bit jet lagged. But we're getting, essentially, he comes out to say, hey, we're going to do a contract signing next week. And Seth and Roman are going to be there. Now, dude, early in his promo, I thought for sure he alluded to the idea that there's still the opportunity for him.
He absolutely did. He said, I got what he's pretty much what he says. I got my Mania match, but I'm not getting what I want.
Or am I?
Or am I? So it puts the
Right.
thought in your head, all right, is the favor, because he said, I want to read over the contract to make sure something is in there that I want. I'm paraphrasing. So yeah, it puts the thought in your head that he wants some verbiage in the contract which states that if he wins that triple threat, I guess imagine this point, night one of WrestleMania, then he gets put in the Cody John Cena match. I don't know how. I suppose there's other ways you can interpret that, but when I heard him say that, that's the first thing that popped in my head because I
And
think
then
that's what they're alluding to.
he very quickly dropped it, though, because you would think that if that was something, because, yeah, Ken Adams' business firm here in the YouTube chat saying the same thing. By the end of it, I was thinking to myself, okay, number one, they could obviously totally write CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, I guess, although if he has this contractually simply for his end of the match, it's like not the other two guys don't get in, but if he wins, he gets in.
Yeah.
They could easily, the next segment with Cody and Cena could be interrupted by CM Punk, and people would go ape shit for that, and that adds a whole new wrinkle into it. And they could totally do that with 2 weeks left in the show.
They could, but even if, I don't know, I feel like if that stipulation is in there, I don't feel like he would win then.
Dude, I don't know what would happen. I think you're right, and it might be this. Boy, it might be this. Because here's the thing about Punk also. His dream isn't necessarily to win in the main event.
In the main event.
It's to get into the main event. So let's assume that if that's, look, let's not get it twisted, man. If that's the stakes, that's going to main event night one. That kind of trumps, that trumps everything.
It probably would.
And so CM Punk gets in. That's the big celebration because he gets his moment in the WrestleMania main event. Doesn't mean he's got to win it. He could inadvertently cause the worst case scenario where John Cena, what he's talking about sounds a lot like what CM Punk was talking about before Money in the Bank a million years ago. Mm-hmm. I'm leaving with that title. Now, Cena's saying something kind of different, but thematically very similar. I'm holding it hostage. I'm leaving with it. And then you guys can figure out what toy you're going to come up with next. So there are parallels there. It just would have been nice if this is the case, this would have been introduced a little while ago. That being said, I'm assuming we're going to have this completely clarified a week from now, where we'll get, for sure if that's going to be the case. But by the end of the promo, given that there wasn't literally that light shed on it, he did say something along the lines of, these two guys are in my way. He went more broad with it, as if these guys kept me from my dream. I'm going to take them out of the equation. So I guess next year I can go after my dream.
Well, I think it's a situation where I think you mentioned it twice about, I have my match, but I don't have what I really want. He mentioned the idea of something in the contract that he wants. And you take those three comments plus what he said about Seth and Roman being in his way, I think individually be like, well, it could be this. It could. I think it's clear as day what he's trying to accomplish. He wasn't very direct and explicit about it, but he alluded to it enough to make a pretty clear idea that he wants language in that contract where if he wins, he gets in the WWE title match. Let's
get this idea out of the way because several people here, and this is not a silly thing to think, but I hope it's not the case. Joe B here says he just wants to be in the main event, nothing to do with Cena Cody match. SSH Trash says, my interpretation of the Punk, the contract should have what I want thing was that he wants it confirmed to be the night one main event. That's so lame. If that's the case, that's horrible. That's like, hey, can you make sure that we go on last? Okay, cool. Like that, they're not in the way of that.
No.
That's just like, go talk to Triple H, go talk to the booker about match placement, and then you can get it. I kind of assume that given that they got a souped up, amped up version of like a 4K version of the graphic where they all look super duper good, like that might mean that it's going to main event as well. And the women's world title shot. Look, There's no way, shape, or form that Raw World title should be main event in anything. Not a Raw, not a main event, not a Level Up, not an Evolve episode.
They had an opportunity to turn things around tonight. They really did. And they didn't. At all.
Jalen here in the chat says, "What if this is some conspiracy shit?" And I love it. What if Punk is really the person Rock chose, and he's just manipulating John Cena? That's some My Rise shit right there, man.
That is.
That's some My Career stuff. Punk features heavily in the My Rise stuff this year. It's pretty great.
He does. Mention the women's championship, the women's world championship. We got a bit of clarity. Although I think we can probably
Did
see
we
where
though?
This is going.
Did we, Larson?
No, I mean we're gonna get the triple threat at WrestleMania. So Adam Pearce comes to the ring, explains just because Rhea's signature is on this contract, it's not official, it's not valid. He has a solution in mind. However, he keeps getting interrupted by Io, Bianca, Rhea. Eventually, he says, "Rhea, you get your rematch next week against Io. Winner takes on Bianca at WrestleMania." All right. And then he has to go and make Bianca a special guest referee, solidifying that nothing is going to be solved at the conclusion of that match, and just leading to what's the situation now, which is going to be a triple threat. I don't know why Adam Pearce, what possessed him to think adding Bianca out there as special guest ref is going to add clarity instead of more confusion.
Oh no, that's what I love about it though. Is when he said that to Bianca and she was like, "I don't even know how to referee," which was a great line, and she delivered it perfectly. And Michael Cole says, "What the hell is wrong with Adam Pearce?"
Yeah.
This is why Raw actually under this performance of Adam Pearce works so well at 3 hours.
Oh, he's so in over his head, yeah.
Because 3 hours is too much.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. It's like, there are too many things happening right now. I'm trying to say a sentence and everybody keeps on interrupting me and it's too much. And so I'm going kind of crazy here. So you're going to fuck with me. I'm going to fuck with you now. Yeah. That's why Raw is so much more fun than SmackDown.
Yeah,
because
it's got
SmackDown,
a madcap vibe to it because, Adam Pearce is in so over his head. I didn't mean like what were they thinking from a creative standpoint. I mean the character of Adam Pearce. What is he doing that?
No, and I'm saying that's why it's great. Yeah. That's why it's awesome because he's going crazy, and a year ago when he was like, "Oh, I need a drink." Oh man, it ain't slowing down, it's not stopping, it's just getting worse.
Yep.
So I really like that aspect of his character, and I like the madcap nature of this feud. I really do. I thought that the actual like in-ring thing that they did, I was like, okay, kind of a little bit of copy paste from last week. But then when she was introduced to the guest referee, I thought, oh shit, that's a really cool wrinkle. I mean, clearly she's probably just going to KOD both of them and wonk the finish, right? Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. That is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. That is going to be a lot of fun, like Seth when he was guest ref last year. So that's going to be good stuff. Thought we might have a new Intercontinental Champion tonight, Larson, but no. The least interesting thing about this whole feud is the champion himself, Braun Breaker. You know, dude, I mentioned this to you via text message when they did the little interview with Braun Breaker outside. He's standing out there. It's cold. He's got his t-shirt on. And one of the things that you and I have talked about so often since the changeover to Triple H as head of creative has been how a lot of characters have really found a lot of performers, I should say, really have figured out who their characters are. We saw under Vince kind of like a lobotomized versions of a lot of these people where it's clear they didn't really have a grasp on who they were supposed to be portraying. Rhea Ripley's probably top example. And I think that's one reason why you can see why she's gone from, one moment she's a face with Nikki Cross. The next moment she's trying to be a bad guy and she never really gets a handle on stuff. And now she knows who she is. Liv Morgan had a terrific 2024 where she really figured out who that character is. Braun Breaker's got no idea who he is.
Yeah.
And he ends his little interview with his lamest catchphrase. Do we have dogs here? But everybody else in this feud, because it looks like, and I know there was a report on Fightful, looks like it's going to be Finn, Dom, Penta, and Braun Breaker at WrestleMania, 4-man. And those three characters are pretty damn fascinating all on their own. You got this dynamic between Finn and Dom. Dom wants to add Penta. Penta doesn't know. And he's like, I don't like this. I don't like you guys coming into my match. And so they beat up him. Finn, in one moment, is looking to beat up Dom. And the next moment, he's helping him up. Carlito's stuck in the middle. And he's like, this is us. We are Judgment Day right here. No Penta. We don't need him. Mm-hmm. It's all pretty fascinating stuff. It's all interesting stuff. Braun Breaker's sitting there with a title. And he's kind of just the guy with the title.
Who barks.
And can run fast.
Yeah. You know what? When he's done that thing where he's running back and forth on the ropes and just hits a clothesline, why not do that by hit your spear? Match over at that point.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I think the exact same thing when he does that.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Just
like you have your opponent so confused, they're all turned around and hit him with the spear.
He does go very fast.
He is very fast. I want to see him and Nathan Frazier in a wrestling ring together.
Oh my! I wouldn't know where to look. Where are they? Where are they now?
Yeah.
Where are they now? I think Braun Breaker, the performer, has a lot to offer.
Yeah.
I think that creative has really done him a disservice because they, and sometimes it takes a story. Sometimes it takes, maybe just some actual real character direction. But it's clear that they don't know, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? What is he supposed to be? When they try to make him a bad guy, the crowd loves it. So they have to make him a good guy. But the crowd's not really into that too much.
Yeah.
Crowd likes Braun Breaker because he does cool shit. But he needs more than that, man.
Yeah. He needs a character.
Mm-hmm.
He needs a character.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Probably time to pay some bills. And we got a couple sponsors for the show today, Larson. So let's go ahead and talk about them real quick.
Let's do it. Let's take a break. Get a word from our sponsor, Tempo Steve. Question for you.
Yeah.
Wasn't technology supposed to make our lives easier?
Right?
Yeah. Instead, I just feel like we have more stuff that gets packed into our days thanks to technology. So now it seems like we have less time to do things, including thinking about the food that we're putting into our bodies.
Yeah, man. It'd be really cool if we had like replicators like they got in the Star Trek that I watch every day. But we don't have replicators, Larson. Not yet, anyways. But we do have Tempo. Tempo is a weekly delivery service that allows you to select from over 20 mindful meal choices that are crafted to cook in just 3 minutes, and they're delivered fresh right to your door.
Tempo's dietitian-approved menu takes all the guesswork out of eating well, and they've got new recipes each week, like roasted garlic filet mignon and barbecue pulled pork and farro bowls that are made with real nutrient-rich ingredients, which make it easy to keep up with your healthy lifestyle, and they have a variety of meals tailored to your dietary preferences.
And for a limited time, Tempo is offering Going In Raw listeners 60% off your first box. Go to tempomeals.com/raw. That's tempomeals.com/raw for 60% off your first box. Tempomeals.com/raw. Rules and restrictions may apply.
And let's get a word from our sponsor, Mint Mobile. You know me, Steve. I don't like being separated from my money.
Ooh, no.
But unfortunately for me, traditional big wireless companies seem to enjoy separating me from my money. And I got to say that after all these years, I've gotten pretty fed up with the huge wireless bills, the bogus fees, and the free perks that actually cost me more money in the long run. Ugh!
Get out of here, Big Wireless. Big Wireless, no way. Larson, may I suggest this? Might be time for you to say goodbye to those massive monthly wireless bills and make the switch to Mint Mobile and get yourself 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. All Mint Mobile plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Plus, you can bring your own phone and keep your existing phone number and contacts. Larson,
What?
ditch your overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month.
So if you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/raw. That's mintmobile.com/raw.
Upfront payment of $45 for a 3-month 5 GB plan required. It's equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offers for first 3 months only. Then full price plan options are available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. All right, man. Let's do the recap thing.
Let's do the recap.
Actually, screw that. Hold on a second. Nah, man.
What?
Listen. WrestleMania. Adam Pearce said this again. We're officially on the road to WrestleMania now. I guess tonight.
The sign's up. CM Punk is not pointing to an invisible sign anymore.
Right, exactly. That means the road to WrestleMania predictions is officially here as well.
Sure.
And this year, for our WrestleMania Big Blue Predictions Challenge, not only do we have a hat, which I really need to design, but I can't today because we're going to do a WrestleMania 3 review tomorrow.
Well, you could design it while watching WrestleMania 3, honestly.
I got to pay attention to WrestleMania 3. Oh, God. So, on the line, at the big WrestleMania Challenge, is this bootleg CM Punk Signature Series title directly from our friends in Pakistan. That's right. It's on the line. You guys can get, because I got the real one over there. I don't need this one over here. So I got that one. I got the real one.
I thought you pointed that the real one is the one you don't need anymore.
No, this is the bootleg. I have that. I need that one. I don't need this one, so you guys are going to get it. But before you win it, if you do win it, hold harmless agreement you got to sign because this is really sharp.
Well, we got to do our bit and kind of shave down the sharp edges a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do that, but we're also going to have them. I'm not being held liable for that.
No.
So, yeah, the big thing. And there's 2 ways to get in on the predictions challenge. You go to patreon.com/Stephen Larson, click on the Friendo Club setup, or you can click join right here at youtube.com/Stephen Larson. Either way you do it, it's $5 a month. We get the money, you get the chance at getting the big predictions challenge, and you get bonus episodes, and you get access to our question threads. So it's a great deal for you. It's a great deal for us. Everybody wins. It's a win-win situation.
Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Yeah, man. You know, I know, Larson, you have said recently that you believe in Steve, that you think now is my time.
Like a Steve Santa Claus? I believe in Steve. I know you're a real person.
My time, unlike Hilton, my time is now.
Everybody else's time is up. Steve's time is now.
To win the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge. And I was thinking about it, man. Given what we saw with that Intercontinental Championship and what I just said about Braun Breaker, I'm putting all my prediction points on Finn Balor. Yeah, it's his time, Larson. Yeah.
Here, I thought you were going to take this seriously to try to win. And here you are putting all your confidence points on Finn to win. No, Finn equals pin, Steve.
Damn it.
Come on.
I thought I had something there, man.
Use your brain.
My what?
You're using this too much when you make your picks.
Are you sure I'm using that? Oh, man.
You're definitely not using this up here. Your head, your brain.
I very rarely do.
Hey, look. I'll help you with your Mania picks, all right?
Oh, okay.
I'll help you. Listen to me. Listen to Larson. Gosh, it doesn't rhyme with anything.
Listen to me. The win goes to Steve.
Fine, there you go.
All right, so you're saying Dom is going to win the Intercontinental Championship. No. Dom wins again. Cool. Anyways, let's talk about John Cena. He opened the show. Big pyro, big booze from the Glasgow crowd. He talked a lot. He said the crowd starts chanting fuck you and stuff. And he gets a kick out of that. He says, last week I put a clueless kid on blast. His poor, pathetic face was everywhere. WWE even posted it. He seemed particularly tickled by that. He says, you all loved it. That's when the fuck you Cena chant started. He said, who's worse, me? The one guy who always tell the truth, or all of you's best idea is to use profanity? You're the ones who love to watch and rewatch and meme a poor defenseless kid getting destroyed. I don't need to single anyone out because you're all horrible people. He said, for 25 years, I listened to your lies and your noise. I didn't waste time being mean. I paid attention. And then he gets this shut the fuck up chants. He says, you make this so easy. While you chant profanity at the top of your lungs, I was paying attention, quizzing you, testing you, prodding you, rewarding you for playing along with your stupid, childish, curse-ridden nursery rhymes. And in doing so, you told me every single thing about you. So he continues on a little bit. And then he says, don't believe me. He said, you've been part of my experiment. He says, pick any moment in my career, and I'll tell you what I learned. When I bled, I was tough. When I spoke, inspired. Edgy, you're excited. Vanilla, bored. You make this so simple. The most important thing you ever told me was in April of 2005 when I gave you my greatest idea, the WWE Spinner Championship. And just like right now, you ate me alive. All you got to do is Google negative comments about that spinner title. Told me loud and clear about how stupid I was because I changed your championship into a toy. It's not a toy. It's a symbol of the center of all this. The toy belt I made for you disrespected tradition and your legacy. That was the biggest mistake you ever made because in that one moment, you were vulnerable enough to show what means most to you in life. Because of that, I am going to ruin wrestling. I'm going to ruin it for every fan, every wrestler, for everyone. At WrestleMania, I make history winning a 17th championship, and I finally force you to forget the name Ric Flair and will forever say the name John Cena. And even worse, I'm going to win the title, I'm going to win it, and I'm going to retire with it. I'm taking it home with me. I will leave all of you to make another toy belt because the real one comes home with me. I will be the real last champion in WWE. Revenge is best served cold, and I pay you back by ripping your heart and walking away with your memories, traditions, and dreams. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. Enter Cody Rhodes.
Whoa! So he comes to the ring after staring at Cena's towel that was laying on the mat. And he says, I'm sorry. What did you say? You got to take this away from them? Don't you think you need to take it away from me first? Admittedly, I made a mistake last week. I talked about the old John, the new John. I didn't look hard enough. You were clearly angry, sincere, and willing. Perhaps you're the most dangerous you've ever been, but you've made a massive mistake. It wasn't hitting me with this title. It was saying what you just said in front of these lovely people while I'm in the building. Does that bother you? Here's what bothers me. I don't need to unpack our history, how hard and violently I fought to hold this for one time, to validate one name. If I understand you, you're saying the timeline of all of pro wrestling hangs in the balance because of your vanity? Want to take this? Ooh. So he lays the belt on the mat between him and Cena. He says, I'll give you the chance right now. Take it, John!
And what does he do with his clothes? Yeah, there you go.
He takes his tie off and he unbuttons half his shirt.
Beef
it's
is
like
out.
1970s Cody Rhodes, like he was going to Studio 54.
He was acting a little bit coked out tonight too, wasn't he?
He had some energy to him.
Yeah.
So they square up, and then Cena backs off and leaves. And then so Cody picks up the mic and just yells, John!
John!
So Cena turns around, starts walking back down the ramp, and then turns and leaves. So then he says, one more thing, John. I can't let you have it on my conscience. I need you to see me and all of these people understand that your psychotic need to have this does not outweigh our right to keep it. The champ is no longer standing there. The champ is standing in the center of this ring, seeing you walking away empty-handed. John Cena, that's how you walk away from WrestleMania and how you walk away from the WWE.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Overall, I thought it was a much stronger segment than last week's.
It lacked a child. It lacked a sad child. I feel like
we got the line. We got the one line we wanted from Cena.
Well, I break up with you is a pretty good line. A lot of people are using the I break up with you.
I feel like I will ruin wrestling. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, needed a sad child, though. Anyways. So, as we mentioned earlier, Adam Pearce comes to the ring trying to clarify the whole women's world title mess for WrestleMania. As you guys remember last week, Rhea Ripley, she just signed the contract, and oftentimes that works in wrestling. But Adam Pearce says, nah. He starts out declaring we're officially on the road to Mania. He tells everybody what happened last time, but he clarifies signature on that contract doesn't mean anything. But I've been trying to nail her schedule down to get her rematch for the title. But in the meantime, Bianca already got her right to be number one contender. So Io comes down. And she says, I don't care about contracts. Bianca, Rhea, doesn't matter. I'll take on both of them. I'm the women's world champion. And then he's like, okay, well, hold on. And then Bianca's music hits, and he's like, So she's like, hold up. Pierce, you were right. I earned that spot. I got through the chamber to get to Mania. I'm not about to let Rhea headbutt her way into this match. If she didn't earn it, she doesn't deserve it. So that brings out Rhea. And he's just like, oh, come on. So her and Bianca and Io kind of go through the same deal as they have the last couple weeks. Pierce says, enough. I have a solution if you just give me a second. Next week, Rhea, you get your rematch against Io. Winner faces Bianca at WrestleMania. Have a lovely Monday. And so they start doing this crazy shit where like Io tries to attack Bianca, who sends Io into Rhea, who nails Bianca back into Io. It's this mad thing where Bianca eventually.
It's a preview of the triple threat we're gonna get at WrestleMania.
It was so much fun. It was it was really cool. Kind of goofy, but kind of cool. So they send Bianca ends up getting the upper hand here. She sends Io out onto Rhea. They're both down on the floor. Bianca's holding the title up. So yeah, later on, let's see here. So Pierce is backstage. New Day walk in, and they don't ask. They demand a title shot. And he's like, "Oh, you're demanding a title shot
at WrestleMania, no less."
I'm sorry, at WrestleMania. And he says, "You're not coming in here saying, hey, we want to prove ourselves in a match." He's like, "No, get out of here." He's really rude about it and pretty funny about it. And Xavier Woods says, "You need to take your blood pressure medication." And so Bianca walks in. And he explains the match next week. And it's like, "Oh, and you're not going to be front row. You're going to be in the ring because you're going to be the special guest referee." And she's like, "I don't even know how to be a referee." "Well, you better learn. You got a week." It was a really funny interaction.
It was. Yeah. Adam Pearce is at his wit's end right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk in more detail about the CM Punk thing. So he comes to the ring, says he's not happy. He's jet lagged. He hasn't slept well due to the uncertainty about his WrestleMania status. He says, but apparently I have a match because yes, they announced the triple threat match at some point over the weekend. I guess made it official. He says, but I got what I want, I'm not getting, or am I? What I wanted to do was win the Rumble. Then it became I needed to win the Chamber. But the more things change, the more things stay the same. He talks some crap about Seth Rollins. Says he screwed him at Chamber. It doesn't get me to what I want, though. For two people, it's personal, but for me, it's business. Two men who want to stand in my way. For me, getting what I want, they got to go. Seth takes it personal because he's been crying since I came back because everything I did has belittled his career. Roman, I acknowledge that your wise man may just not be your wise man. It says, while it's personal for them, it's business for me, just like in London this Friday when we do an old-fashioned contract signing. So the crowd starts to boo, and he's like, why are you booing? Are you booing because you want to happen here? And they go, yay! And Phil says, well, I did too! That's why I'm here.
That was pretty clever. This was also we glossed over the fact that he said I work with children. That was great.
Oh yeah, what he called the Seth the piss diaper.
No, he literally said
heavyweight champion a diaper piss baby. That's what he called.
Well, he literally said the more things change, the more things stay the same. I work with children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, right. And I immediately see people on social media. He's referencing a thing that he said.
Slide AEW.
Yeah.
So anyways,
but evidently Hangman's not the biggest baby these days. He's not the worst of the children. Now
that's
Seth
true
Rollins.
Because he never called Hangman the undisputed heavyweight champion of diaper piss babies. That's Seth Rollins. So anyways, he said, I'm here because I want to do the contract signing, and I can't wait to get my hands on it, read the fine print, and see if and read the fine print to see something is in there, or if another rug pull from the powers that be, since he couldn't grace us here in Glasgow. I'll see you in London, but understand two things. One, neither of you have beat me without the other's help.
Uh-huh.
Two, I brought you into this business. I can't wait to be the man who takes you out of it. Best in the world.
So he's gonna stack the Shield, is what's gonna happen here.
Or Roman and Seth are gonna look past their own issues and focus on.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. And they'll prove them right. Yeah, we can't beat you without each other's help, so we're gonna help each other to beat you.
And it should be that, and then Seth should hit Roman with the chair again, and then Seth should win.
Yeah, I'd like that, but. Okay, is there any scenario? Is there any scenario in which Punk gets the stipulation that he moves on to the next night and still loses the match?
Yeah. Yeah, you mean he gets the stipulation for the triple threat and loses? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what's going to happen.
Loses night one, doesn't get in.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Sure.
You talk about my brain. Let's test yours.
Sure.
I agree with you with one kind of important caveat.
Which is?
Cena and Cody can't really acknowledge it all that much. I don't think they can do a thing where Punk has a full-on promo with Cena and Cody, and they dance around, or they don't dance around it. They talk about all the possibilities here.
Absolutely.
Punk gets in, and then he doesn't get in. I don't think that would happen in a million years.
Well, here's the thing. I understand what you're saying, and maybe it's the old Bret Hart thing, where when he was a babyface, he would never promise to win anything, because if he lost, he'd be made a liar. And so if Punk gets into that situation and talks about possibilities rather than definites, then maybe they can work around that.
Boy, if they add that stipulation, I see. I'm with you in one respect in terms of like, if they work in that stipulation, I think it's possible that he doesn't make it into the night 2. But I think they keep him away from Cena and Cody in the meantime, and I don't know how creatively you can kind of get away with that.
I think there's a way. I think there's a way because once that stipulation is added to the contract and it's there, everybody's thinking it's a possibility. Why not address it?
Well, everybody, there's a difference though. You're right, but you can't lean too heavily into
That's
it.
what I'm saying. You can't be Punk's coming in there. It's like, I'm going to win this match and I'm going to be in the main event of night 2 and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He's got to look at this as a path.
The problem is, dude, when you throw him into any promo with Cena and Cody, that promo is going to be really fucking good. And the thing is, you can't get people super hyped for an idea that then you don't pay off.
I understand all that. I do. I just feel like right now, Cody Cena like sells itself to a degree. You don't need to add Punk to that.
No, you don't need to. No, absolutely
because
not.
then you have a whole story for the whole next
but
year.
But you can't say it's a possibility and not deliver on it either.
You can't make it seem like it's going to happen and not deliver on it. And that's the difference.
I don't know that there's a difference. I don't know.
You can introduce the idea as a possibility.
Okay.
Because I think they already did that tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And if that is in the contract, if that's the verbiage in the contract, you have introduced the possibility of that happening. And you have already raised expectations for a certain set of fans that is a distinct possibility.
You know, dude, let me broach this. Given that so far it's been like 2 weeks. Well, okay, we had the big thing in Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
And ever since then, there hasn't really been a lot of movement with Cody and Cena. Like, really. There's been 2 long promos from Cena, which have been very entertaining. Cody comes out, talks shit. No Rock. Still no reason. Like, there's no actual explanation in terms of like John Cena having to team with The Rock beyond.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's obvious. I've lost a lot. This guy guarantees me a win. Maybe it's that obvious. I don't mind connecting those dots. But it's possible that they're pushing on anything big in terms of a turn because the stipulation is the turn. That's the story beat that they're sort of waiting for.
That could be.
Just a shame they wouldn't have introduced this a little bit sooner if it is the case. It seems like it should have been, but
maybe. Yeah, I mean, if there's more to it as in terms of the stipulation, something major happening story wise at WrestleMania outside of just Cody versus Cena, then obviously that changes the math. But if it's strictly a situation where that stipulation's in there, when Punk's in the main event, loses, he's not. It's like that's a whole year's worth of story. You could tell with Punk, to him to get that match, the main event at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And I just don't feel like you rushed that in the span of 4 weeks now, when that could be a year's worth of story for Punk.
Yeah, but dude, you're also talking about a guy who's our age. You know,
I understand. He's held up pretty well since he's come back.
He has.
And he's been in some very physical
He's
matches.
held up since he came back from injury.
The tricep. Yeah, the tricep tear.
Yes. Yeah. He has.
Which occurred in his first match back in WWE, you know?
Yeah, I know.
At least his first televised match. I think that maybe 1 or 2.
I don't know what else I don't know what else he could be referring to, though.
I know.
I don't know what else that could possibly be.
I know.
Which throws that, which is, it still makes it much more intriguing for Cena to win. I mean, he gets to the Mania main event and loses, and Cena wins, and that's a way you protect Cody as well.
It is, and then
maybe Rock's not going to be at WrestleMania.
That's possible, and also if you have Punk in there, maybe he's on the verge of winning. Rock interferes, helps Cena win. Bang! You can just immediately spring right to Punk Cena.
Oh, dude, no, that's the thing too. Cena wins, and you've got a shit ton of justification for that SummerSlam match or Money in the Bank. Like for to shout out what happened 14 years ago.
Yep.
There's a lot of possibilities, but it kind of lands on CM Punk being in that match. So, real quick, though, we got some super chats and memberships here. Patrick Cheeseman, been a member for 22 months now, says, I quit my job. Need all friendo positive energy as I search for a new one. Also, yeet. Hey, man, you know what, Cheese Man? You'll be fine. You land on your feet. I kind of appreciate that he quit his job instead of like getting laid off or something because he did it on his own terms. So go get it. You'll be fine. You'll be good.
Yep.
Jalen here with a super chat says Cena versus WWE Universe for the belt. Also, he has to win. It's like the Royal Rumble. It's one man versus 29 people. But in this case, it's
millions,
or if he's in an arena, 10,000. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
A couple more here, I think. What we got? Luis says, I love Steven Larson, but there no Raw recap. Is that still a thing? It's been like 3 weeks. He's a big, Luis, he's a big, what's his face? Sam Roberts? Is that who's on it?
Yeah, Sam Roberts, yeah.
Big Sam Roberts guy, that Luis.
Yes,
who isn't? Who isn't? Griga here also gifted a membership to the community to It's a John Day.
John.
Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. And we are up to date.
All right. Let's talk about this Intercontinental title match. Preceding the match, we see Dom walking up to Penta and again offers him a spot in Judgment Day. And says, not only are we offering the spot, we can make you champion tonight. Consider the offer. So right before the main event, shortly before, we get an interview with Braun outside. He's asked, does Judgment Day concern him? He says, no, I'm going to retain my title for one reason. You know why? The dogs are barking. Arf. Arf.
Arf.
Arf.
Arf.
Match is the main event. Solid, fun bout.
Oh, dude, this is tons of fun, man.
Tons of fun. Of course, Judgment Day comes down to watch. They get involved. When Braun sets up for a spear, Dom distracts the ref. Carlito tries to interfere. He gets tossed in the ring. He eats a spear. And then Dom chop blocks Braun right as the ref is turning around. He calls for the DQ. So Braun tries to fight off Dom and Carlito. Finn Balor comes in with a steel chair, lays into Braun a bunch, hands the chair. First, it looks like he's about to hit Dom with it. Then he hands the chair to Dom. Dom hits Braun a bunch. Dom then hands the chair to Penta and tells him, hey, join up with us. Hit Braun. So, of course, Penta really milks it. Looks at the crowd, looks at the chair.
Nobody milks things better than Penta.
Oh, I know.
He's got it. Have you ever seen such an expressive face and it's under a mask? It's crazy. It's awesome.
Oh, he's fantastic. So he throws the chair at Dom, super kicks him. Balor lays into Penta and then hits Braun with the chair again. Finn hits Penta with a coup de grace. Says, you remember Judgment Day tonight? And he stands between Dom and Carlito, and he's like, essentially saying, we're Judgment Day. This is us.
He's like, it's you and me. And then Carlito shows up, and he's like, oh, and Carlito too. It's the three of us. It's all us. We're all good. So, Dude.
Not the most exciting finish, but I guess if they're trying to advance story, it makes sense.
Well, here's the thing. Front and center, finishing Monday Night Raw, Finn Balor.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to pop big when he wins that Intercontinental Championship at
you're going to
WrestleMania.
cry massive tears when your entire predictions, fortunes rest on him winning or losing, and he takes that L because Finn equals Pin. We got a raid here from Megaron.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We also had earlier a sub from Zero. Says for 53 months now they're subbed to the Twitch channel. Says, hello, friendos. Also,
hello.
We had a sub from... Oh, my Twitch stopped working right. Where was this one? I thought it was like Joe or John. I heard it's JOD.
JOD.
86. Sub for 30 months. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate that.
Z0 as well with the sub. Thank you.
With the raid. That's really cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
And then Hawks Flock here has a question. Says, what are the odds we get a heel Bianca by Mania? 0! They are not turning Bianca heel. It's not happening this Mania or next Mania or the next one. Maybe by 2030 we'll get shades of NXT Bianca, who you and I both love. But
heel Bianca was so good.
Oh, wow. Canaldo Bruno says, Dom is pinning Balor at Mania. Wow. Yeah. Dude, yeah. And here's the thing. Meijing Gory says, when Finn wins that IC title, we're having a Finn party. Guess what, Larson? It's over Wrestling Juice. You're not invited because you don't see the vision.
Look,
you don't see the
Finn.
vision.
I'd be happy if he wins. I'm also paying attention to reality.
Listen, oh, you're uninvited.
Fine.
Uninvited. I was
Fine.
thinking for a second you're invited in my head, and then verbally I uninvited you.
That's fine. I knew this was going to
No
happen
Finn.
regardless.
You know what? I changed my. You're invited.
Thank you. I'll wear my Finn shirt.
There you go.
All right, let's talk about this World Heavyweight Championship title
Oh,
story.
hell,
BS.
do we need
So,
to?
it was advertised that Jey Uso and mystery partner was going to have a tag match against A-Town Down. They didn't milk the drama of who his mystery partner was going to be. There was nothing to build it up. Jay makes his entrance, and then Jimmy just kind of comes in behind him.
Dude, you know that was savvy as fuck. You get Jay out there in the ring and he looks back at the Tron. You tell me that crowd's not going to be chanting for Joe Hendry. That was hella smart to do that. That was hella smart. Jimmy just comes running up behind him and was like, oh, wait. Oh, that's Jimmy. Yeah, that was hella smart. That entire arena would have been chanting for Joe Hendry.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? They're in Glasgow. You're insane. That's exactly why they did it.
That could be. I got milk it a little bit. Understand? You got to milk it a little bit. Anyways, of course, Usos win after a 1D. And this is where they could have salvaged things. You have Jay in the ring. You have at least a little bit.
Larson, every week they have an opportunity, right?
I know, and they continually choose to do the opposite. So, Gunther comes in and yanks Jimmy out of the ring. He and Jay start brawling. Gunther should have laid out Jay and twisted him up in the ropes and made him witness him destroying Jimmy. That's what should have happened here. You got to build the stakes, at least emotionally, for this title feud. But no, it's a situation where it's like, hey, Jay's clumsy. He's got no chance of beating Gunther because he slips when he's looking for a spear. That's what happened. And so Jimmy runs in with a chair and chases Gunther off. But I'm like, you're taking continually every approach you can to make this feud less interesting.
I feel like there's the chance that they're going to do what you're talking about next week.
I hope they do, because we're going to get Gunther versus Jimmy. So backstage, Usos are talking, and Jimmy comes sits next to Jay and said, you've been all up in your head the last week. He says, you've hit that dive for 15 years, and you became a meme. Then tonight you slipped up. And if you do that at WrestleMania, and Jay goes, I know, but I'm 0-3 against Gunther. Want to know the truth? I don't know if I can beat him. And Jimmy goes, not this, Jay. Nope, can't. We need the right-hand man. We need main event Jey Uso. We need the one who won the Royal Rumble. That's who I need. You got me? And Jay says, I got you. So Jimmy gets up and walks around the corner. Gunther's just wandering there. Lurking.
Yeah, this was an odd setting. Like
the framing of it was because it's not like he was exiting a door or
I thought,
room
like,
or something.
This would have made so much sense if they were like backstage in an area where there's like people walking around and then he catches Gunther. They're in an empty stairwell.
And he turns a corner and it's not like it's a hallway. It's like one side is like a dead end, you know?
Yeah, right.
So wait, Gunther's just standing there. And Jimmy says, you and me next week. And then Gunther says, as long as you don't slip and fall like your brother. And then Jimmy slaps the shit out of Gunther.
He slapped him hard.
Really hard, like instant handprint on his cheek.
It was a lot.
And so he leaves and Gunther smiles.
Yeah, Gunther, he looks at the camera and smiles too. This whole thing, you could tell everybody felt awkward. That's why, Jay like slipped up on two of his lines. Like, yeah, if I lose this, I'll be 3-0 against Gunther. And then even Michael Cole had to correct him, be like, well, he's going to be 0-3. And I get it, it's probably, but yeah, this is weird and awkward. Maybe they can salvage it next week if Gunther absolutely just destroys poor Jimmy Uso. And that's what they let him get that one slap in on the face, because maybe next week he won't get anything in.
Yeah.
That's what it should. This should not be competitive at all.
It should be brutal. It should just be brutal.
It should be ugly. Like Gunther gets the drop on him. He gets the drop on him, and then it becomes unsettling. And then you've saved it.
Well, you've taken the first step to save it.
You don't have to do anything else but video packages after that.
Well, no, you got some more work to do, but that's the first step in saving it.
Got to walk out on top, Larson. Alyssa here, been a member for 42 months now. Says, got to leave work early due to internet outage, so now I get to watch Raw. There you go. Nice.
So Raquel Rodriguez had a chance to become a double champion tonight. She had a title,
She did.
Intercontinental title match against Lyra Valkyria. Before that, we see Liv and Raquel. They were warming up. Raquel is. Dom and Carlito walk up. They talk about Finn. And Liv is like, yeah, he's kind of a pain. Hypes up Raquel, getting an opportunity tonight. Carlito says, "You're right, Liv." Really awkwardly. She mentions that about someone challenging Braun next week or next. Carlito says, "I should challenge for the Intercontinental title." No one pays him any attention. And Raquel leaves because she faces Lyra next.
It's a good match, too. This is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's week after week now that they actually have Lyra on television a lot more, or a little bit more, defending the title. I mean, if you want to warm her to the crowd, that's a great way to do it. You got to put her on TV because she is a phenomenal wrestler. She's a really good wrestler. And the crowd's starting to get behind her. She ends up getting a win here. So Raquel is having a fairly dominant performance here. Mm-hmm. She catches Lyra out of the corner, deadlifts her up into a suplex. Lyra hits a DDT for 2. Liv gets the foot on the rope for Raquel. Lyra starts arguing with Liv as she goes for a Nightwing. Raquel avoids it, but then misses a boot. Liv gets a baseball slide as Raquel goes for a Tahana bomb, but Lyra instead is able to get a surprise roll-up counter for the win. Afterwards, Liv attacks her. Bayley's music hits. She comes down, elbows Liv away, takes her out, then goes after Raquel. Crowd could not wait to start singing the Bayley song, and they started that immediately. Yep. And then they stand tall over Liv and Raquel after dumping Raquel out of the ring. Yep. Triple R Wrestling here as a super chat says, in my opinion, the gap between Rumble and Mania hurt the build for Gunther and Jey Uso. Do you see this being a potential issue in years to come? I mean, hopefully they'll learn from the mistakes of the past. I just think that they were like, we did this match at Saturday night's main event. Where do we go from here? And they just haven't, the creative energy hasn't been there.
Well, I think they set up something that could have been potentially intriguing and then just kind of dropped it.
Hey, speaking of intriguing, WrestleMania 3. The Can-Am Connection versus Bob Orton and Don Morocco.
Yeah.
Among other matches.
Yeah, we're going to 12 matches, yes.
Yeah, 12 matches in 3 hours. Just bang, bang, bang. It helps that a bunch of them are like 5 minutes long.
Oh, there's interviews between every single one, too. It's a lot.
So we're going to be doing our first retro review in a long time.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a WrestleMania 3 retro review tomorrow.
Have you watched all of WrestleMania 3 before? Or was this your first time?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't think so. If we didn't have to do it for the show, then I haven't done it. But we've been doing the show for like 10 years, so I'd be kind of surprised if we didn't do like a book of the match for this or something.
Not that I recall.
We had done WrestleMania 27.
I know. I saw that comment, so I mentioned like in our second book or maybe the first book.
And I had no idea. So
more than a decade ago, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's entirely possible. Like 9 years ago, we did this. I don't know. It's
possible, I suppose.
Yeah, but why do you ask?
Oh, I just didn't know.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you've seen this at very least as a child on VHS, correct? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you remember much of it from back then?
No.
Yeah. One person who wasn't on the WrestleMania 3 card but looks to be getting on the WrestleMania 41 card, El Grande Americano. So this was actually pretty damn funny.
It was.
And I know that it's gonna rankle some people online, but they did this video package, and it was sort of like a Ken Burns style docu package where it's just sort of like fading in and out to images that were clearly generated through AI. Because at no point did this so it's like a video package detailing the history of El Grande Americano.
There was there was a lot of AI. There was some Photoshop in there too. There was a couple images that were like obviously Photoshopped.
So they did Photoshopped. They Photoshopped his face on a lot of the images, but the base images were all AI.
Okay.
And I mean, the costume was different. A bunch of them. There was literally one shot. Yeah, man. He's hailing from the Gulf of America. Which was pretty fucking funny. I appreciate that WWE is not afraid to make fun of that bullshit. And so, and yeah, it was all this. There was one shot, literally. I did a double because there's like a hand in the shot, like raised up for,
Yeah.
and there was 6 fingers on it.
Ah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was looking really closely, and this whole fucking thing was done probably in the span of like maybe 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and the pictures themselves were probably generated within 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it was all hyping up this luchador doesn't exist named El Grande Americano. And the great thing is, so afterwards, he got Pierce in the LWO. They've just watched it like we have. And they are so bent about it. They're, what the hell is this thing? And Pierce says, that's the intro to our newest Raw roster member, which current Pierce, who's out of control, it's hilarious that he'd be bringing him in like this. And they're like, it's clearly Chad Gable. So Gable walks in, he's got a little tissue, and he's sick, or he claims to be sick. He keeps on doing the fake cough. And they're like, dude, it's clearly you. He's like, no, that's El Grande Americano. He says, I know we've got some similar physical attributes, but I don't have the energy to argue. Someone got me sick, so unfortunately I can't compete. Doctor's note. And Pierce looks at him, he's like, that's legit. Rey Mysterio's like, what are we, in kindergarten? Gable says, well, look, since I'm out, maybe Dragon Lee can face El Grande Americano. And Pierce is like, yeah, dude, my hands are tied. And Lee says, it doesn't matter who, I want that match. And Ray looks at Gable, says, you're a real jackass. And Gable just gets upset. Let him talk to me like that. This was pretty damn funny. I really appreciate it. The match was fucking awesome, too.
It was really good, yeah. Yeah. El Grande Americano got the win. So Dragon Lee's looking for the double stomp off the top rope. And Americano, does the crunch up, rips Dragon Lee's mask off. So he falls and covers his face. Ankle lock. Lee, while trying to cover his face, taps out. El Grande Americano wins his debut match.
Also, Logan Paul called out AJ Styles. Would you like to answer some questions, Lars?
Let's answer some questions.
It was that quick. He did it in a Matt Chat question, so there's nothing to talk about with that.
And if there was more, we really wouldn't belabor it too much because we don't care about Logan Paul. Let's see. Luis here asks, now that Phoenix and Alistair will be on SmackDown doing their own thing, who did Dominic recommend Gable talk to about the dark arts, and who is the masked wrestler?
It was that guy in the alleyway, right?
Yeah.
It was just that guy in the alleyway. I am disappointed. I wonder if they had something more in mind for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder too.
Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Richard A. or Richard says, who would you guys like to see even the odds against Judgment Day? Phoenix or returning Dragunov? I get the feeling Phoenix getting on SmackDown because we haven't seen any of those Phoenix ads on Raw.
SmackDown, yeah.
A returning Dragunov would be great. I don't know what his timeline's like.
We got an ACL tear. He might be getting close. It was last summer, right?
I believe so.
Okay, he could be getting close then.
Yeah, I'd love to. I want to see Ilya get back into the fracas.
Yeah. Kelmiko says, I know Dom's character is a coward, but isn't he kayfabe stronger than Finn? He and Carlito could easily dispatch Finn and JD. I don't know about in terms of like power rankings as wrestlers if Dom is necessarily higher than Finn.
Not even close.
I wouldn't think so either. I think Dom, when he wins, generally needs help. Finn doesn't necessarily.
I mean, Finn hasn't won a lot recently.
No.
So small sample size, but historically speaking.
Yeah.
Jabroni Town says, of the current roster, which wrestlers would be most likely to choose to sever, and what would be the facts given to them about their outie?
Wow.
Your outie loves dogs. Really? Do they bark like a dog?
There you go. Yeah.
Braun Breaker. Maybe that's why they haven't got a good grasp on his character because he's severed.
That could be.
That could be.
They have these talks with him at the outside of tapings, and he shows up and doesn't remember any of it. Well,
yeah, but he does a really good job. He wins the Intercontinental Championship, and that gets him a meeting with his outie wife.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's like, "You look like one of girls like romance."
Mr. Milkshake here asks Severance
Mr.
finale
Milchick.
thoughts. Dude, Mr. Milkshake in the final was great.
Oh my God, dude. The
Holy
dancing
shit.
was fucking amazing.
That was amazing.
If that guy does not win supporting Emmy or whatever it
I
is,
know.
dude.
And it's not just the choreography, it's the performance, the staying in character the whole time.
I know.
It was so good.
And even the stuff in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Yeah. No, that was so unexpected.
That
Yeah.
really was.
Yeah.
But gosh darn it, that was great.
It was. It was awesome.
Graboids here says, what's the worst thing John Cena can do to ruin wrestling for you?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. He shows up and he's like, guess what? SmackDown is going to stay 3 hours. Yeah, that'd be a big bummer. What would it be for you? Give me something John Cena could
I can
do.
think of a lot of things.
Like what? Go ahead. Good job. Yeah, how about this? Decide to ruin wrestling for you. Here's your new head of WWE Creative, Vince McMahon.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay, there you go. Then there you go.
Kelmiko says we all have our all-time favorites, but week to week, any promotion, who is your favorite active performer today?
My favorite active performer today is going to be in a match against Kenny Omega tomorrow night. I'm talking about All Heat Blake Christian.
Do it, Steve. Do the thing. Do it. Thank you. Serious answer for me is probably Hangman Adam Page.
What's the question again?
Week in, week out, who's your favorite active performer today?
Who's my favorite active performer of today? Performer. Like all round, well-rounded.
I guess any promotion. I guess it doesn't actually specify wrestler, but it's
you know who it is. You know who it is now. Just learned about him today, this morning. La Parka 3.
Oh yeah.
If any of you haven't seen this yet, you have to go watch the debut of La Parka 3 as presented by Vampiro.
Steve's good friend Vampiro.
My good friend Vampiro. This was fucking amazing.
Why don't we watch AAA anymore?
Dude, we're going to. Because that shit was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Because this is Thriller.
Let's see here. Stephen M has a long question. I'll try to summarize. He's talking within the context of Tony versus Mariah not necessarily being a long match, but a fantastic one. In your guys' opinion, do you like quicker matches with shock finishes, and what's the best way to execute them? It's all about the story being told. If you could tell a good story in 10 minutes, and I'm wrapped up in it, and I find it intriguing, and the match is really good, that's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. I think that sometimes matches can like outstay their welcome a little bit. Even if they're like really good, it's like, all right, man, you know, I've had enough of this pizza. I'm good for now.
It's the Grand Slam match, the tag match with Ospreay and Kenny. Like it felt like it built to a crescendo, and then they had like 6 more minutes of match after that.
I'll be honest, I kind of feel like the Ospreay Cage match was that. You know, I mean, I think I gave it a really, really good rating. I probably gave it 5 stars, but it was too much of a good thing. At a certain point, it's too much of a good thing. Alyssa says Stephen Flo, just for the theme song alone.
Oh, yeah.
What a touch of brilliance that was.
Yeah, that was
Stephen Flo. Oh, wow. John and Alistair Boy says, what would be your 5 moves of doom?
Wow. Machine gun chops.
Okay.
Quad kicks.
Oh, damn you.
Super kick.
I like that 2 of your moves are just to spite me.
Of course. Alabama slam.
Oh, no. Please, no.
And what's my finisher gonna be? Package pile driver.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. I'd have to give it some thought. I do know one of them would be I'd be like, Larson, come on. So we could do the Los Garzas finish.
All right.
Because it's the best move. Okay, so yeah. It'd be this. And this is all kind of, I think so far I've got 2 tag moves. The Los Garzas finish, the Shaker Heights spike.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, we do that town to town of those jobbers. That's all I got right now. I would do the slowest, worst version possible of Grayson Waller's stunner. How you start from the
It's less like a jump, a leap through the ropes as opposed to just climbing up on the apron. It's slowly
I
going
think I
between the
might be
second bottom
able.
rope.
I might be able to like do a leaping roll, into the ring between like the mat and like the lower rope. I might be able to sort of leap up and do that.
Well, that's just more like a jumping slide into the ring at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
But I don't know about leaping through the bottom.
But then
and middle
actually
rope.
getting up to do the stunner.
But you're forgetting a very important part is when he leaps in, he does the roll.
Oh, I know. No, I'm not forgetting that. That's out. Not doing that shit.
So then you're just leaping in.
Yeah.
Then you have to get up, not roll into the upright position. You have to probably push yourself up with your hands.
And my knees too. Oh God.
Yeah, hands and knees. And then you put one leg down, so you're in like a lunge position.
Yeah.
And use your hands to push yourself up.
I kind of, yeah. Right. Yeah.
We got a raid from Mastodon. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much, Mastodon. I appreciate that very much. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh man, you guys really know what questions I'll respond to. Fear and Loathing says, if WWE operated in the Star Trek universe, what planet/galaxies would you want them holding PLEs in? That's easy. Risa. Come on. It's Risa. It's a sex planet. And then the other planet, because they went to in like the first season, they went in that one planet that was like a sex planet as well. But they like really stringent laws or something. Let's see.
Alex Foster says, a wrestling fan from the 50s was frozen in time and thought out today. What moments in wrestling would you convince him to avoid?
What a great question. I'm sorry, if a wrestler from the 50s was...
Wrestling fan from the 50s.
I'd show him La Parka 3 and he'd be like, oh my God, I'm in the future for sure.
But what would you tell him to avoid?
A wrestling fan from the 50s. I'd probably like steer him clear of like DDT Pro stuff because I feel like that ruined the business for him. He might think it's real. He might think wrestling is real, dude. So I don't want to expose the business.
That could be. What about like deathmatch stuff? Would that just be too much for...
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can't show that to anybody from the 50s. Mm-mm. You sure as shit, he'll close down his mind if you show him hologram. That's just too much.
It's too much.
He'll think it's magic.
It's literally a wrestler from the future.
Right, exactly. Wait, is that holograms thing?
He did go through a portal. It was very science fiction.
He did go through a portal of some sort.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if anybody actually watches Collision, if there's been more to his lore. Yeah. Is he just like, does he have a teleporter? Is my point.
Awesome wrestlers from the future. I mean,
yeah.
Callum here says it looks like the men's Intercontinental title will be a multi-man at Mania. How many multi-man matches do you think we will see, and do you think it's a sign of weak booking / not being able to tell compelling stories?
No, it's a sign of them.
Historically speaking, they want to try to get as many people on the show as possible.
They want to get people on the show. They want to get people on the show. I'm assuming the U.S. title one is not going to be a multi-man. I feel like if they do that, then it's like, boy, yeah, you guys need to nail it down. You guys need to build some better stars because, like, some people just want to see a one-on-one.
Yeah, I know. You got a Joe the Meme Maker, member for 18 months, says WWE did a show last night in my hometown in Nottingham. Mark Henry and I said Hendry, so I assume Mark Henry and Joe Hendry did a DJ set next to the stadium.
This sounds like an AI thing. Some sort of fever dream, perhaps.
And then it says, fans booed Hogan's theme when it played.
Well, yeah, okay, that sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds... AI got that one right. Let's see here. Sully Munbin wants... What a great name. Wants us to prognosticate. Says, will AEW end up being owned, controlled in some aspect by WWE at some point, as is tradition with every major American promotion? Hey, because they're about to beat the number of... Nitro episodes there were.
Oh, that's right.
At Spring Breakthrough. So suck on that, Eric Bischoff.
Ha ha.
Ha ha. You big dumb.
Jalen with the super chat says uh, Triple H should bring back the Fatal 4 pay-per-view.
Oh yeah. Was everything a fatal four way on that
Guess so.
thing? I know the main event wasn't that like in advance of Mania '97? Isn't that where like a title change happened? Like Brett
Oh
got
yeah,
it
that
and
was the
Sid
one
got it. Sid
after
got it.
Austin won the Rumble and yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Scooter says Mark Henry is a DJ. That's real.
And Joe Hendry was there as well. Oh shit! Peg Junk says Mike Bibby's going to coach Sac State.
Wow.
Cool.
He's super jacked, you know.
Yeah, he's a big jack dude now. He should be a wrestler now.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that commercial with him and Doug Christie? There's a local commercial.
Is it one for cars?
I don't remember what it's for. But they're shooting baskets, but it's on like a lower rim because Doug Christie just barely like reaches up and dunks it.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. We've dropped like 6 out of the last 8 games.
They beat the Cavs and then lose bad to the Bulls.
Yeah, what the
But
hell?
that's what it was. Peg Junk says Nike throwback jersey. That's right. That's what it was.
Okay.
But that's the King.
That's Kings basketball, Larson.
That's Kings basketball. That's right.
You got that right. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today, everybody. But we want to say thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Like I said, live tomorrow. And in fact, on the YouTube, as you're watching now, when we're done with the show, it's going to dump you over to the landing page for the WrestleMania 3 live retro review for tomorrow. It's 11 a.m. Pacific, which means it's 2 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to hang out with us for that. Should be a lot of fun. I see, like for these retro ones, man, I write my own notes. So I'm fresh on like, we're going to take the piss out of this show, man, because, when you get a diving crossbody as a finish, what are we even doing here?
I mean, it's 1980s wrestling, Steve.
Billy Jack Haynes might be my new favorite wrestler. He's a cool guy, right? Is he cool?
I don't think so.
Bad news?
I think so.
Oh, bad news. Yeah. I think, yeah. I was making a joke there. It was a bit of an alley-oop.
All right.
It was an alley-oop for you. Doesn't he have a dark side this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Okay,
Yep.
Cool. Making sure I'm making the right joke here. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show, everybody. Thanks so much. Appreciate it for next time. We'll see you guys around.
Yeah, goodbye.